What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching around the world. Happy Super Finals Sunday. I am so excited for these two matches of volleyball. It is the very end, the climax of the 2023 to 2024 club volleyball season. And this is our watch along for the CEV Champions League Super Finals. My name is Rob St. Clair. I am live in Chicago in the United States. That is my very good friend Key Michael. Key is live in
Hello.
Miami, Florida. And Key, this is kind of what we've been looking forward to for at least a month. It's been a while since we've been watching Champions League, but it is time. It is time to crown two champions, starting with the men's side, Trentino versus Jastrzębski. I am so excited to get into this, and thank you all very much for watching, as Key and I are going to have some fun watching along and reacting to what's going on in these games.
So excited. I love how you say we've been waiting for a month. Like, these players have been waiting at least a year, if not longer. As soon as that last whistle blows last year, every single team is like, all right, we're ready to go. We're prepping for next year. But finally, it's here. Exciting times.
Exciting times is right. So this just to make it real clear out on the outset of the stream, and I'm sure we're going to be fielding this question a lot, but this stream here is not the match. We are not going to be showing the match
Sorry.
on this
Sorry,
broadcast. Sorry.
everyone.
But there are links in the description of this YouTube video for you to find the match. You got two options. It's live on Eurovolley TV. You can pick up a subscription to Eurovolley TV and watch both matches today live, or you can pick up a legend tier membership to this here YouTube channel, and you can watch it on YouTube as well. What good is
Legend.
this stream? He says in the chat. He says, well, if you want just to have the match on one screen and have us on another screen as we talk back and forth and tell some stories and get a little more in depth with the teams, which is exactly what we're going to do and exactly what Key and I are doing. We have the match on another screen. Then great. Then you can come here and hang out with us and ask us questions in the chat, and it'll be nice and fun and interactive. But if you just
Yeah,
want to
just
watch
imagine. Just
right.
imagine you're sitting on your couch and we're all sitting together. You just happen to be sitting with two commentators, just know volleyball. Well, I don't want to say better than anyone else, but probably more intimately than most people.
Pretty intimately. Yeah, it'll be fun. So yeah, there's info in the YouTube video description on how to watch the matches. That is not what we're going to be doing here. We're just going to be hanging out and talking about the game while all of us watch it on the side. And Key, we got a lot to get into on these two teams. This is the champion.
Yes.
A lot on the line is an understatement. Oh, there, Key's back. We got a little refresh there. Y'all good? Key, can you
Oh,
still hear me?
I thought I had lost you. I was like, oh, I'm the host now. But okay, maybe it was me who got cut off.
No, I
I
think
am
we're
the
fine.
captain now.
I'm the captain now. Let us know, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat if you can see and hear us at least decently well. That would help give us a little bit of feedback. So let's talk about these teams, because first serve is in about 5 minutes. We can see the teams coming out onto court right now. We will start with our representatives from Italy, Trentino. Trentino, they're playing in their their third Champions League Super Final in the last 4 years. They made it to this spot in 2021 and 2022. Lost to the eventual champions Zaxa each of the last 3 years, actually, in the final. The first 2 times in the quarterfinal last year. Here, Trentino is back. They're looking for their 4th Champions League title. They won 3 in a row from 2009, 2010, 2011. They won their group this year. They beat Berlin in the quarterfinal. They beat Italian rivals Lube Civitanova in the semifinal. But Trentino, for being one of the best teams in all of volleyball this year, they have not won a major trophy yet this season. Lost in the Italian Super Cup semifinals, lost in the Italian Cup semifinals, and surprisingly took 4th in the Italian playoffs. And what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that no matter the results of this match, Trentino will not be playing in next year's CEV Champions League, which is crazy. Trentino, even if they win this match and are crowned champions of Europe, they will be playing in the CEV Cup competition next year because of where they finished in their domestic league. Very interesting.
This is wild to me, by
It is
the way.
wild.
And for someone who's actually played in Champions League, I did not know this rule. I literally thought anytime somebody wins Champions League, you automatically get at least a bid, because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds before you really get into it with Champions League. But they're not even going to be in that. That blows my mind. I think that's. I don't know. I don't know if those rules can be changed or if they're rock solid in stone. But I think there'll be some fans a little disappointed about that.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, but that is the format. It's all about your previous year's finish domestically, not your Champions League finish. But on the Trentino side, this would be redemption for them. This would be redemption from this
Yeah.
sort of core of players losing in 2 super finals in 2021 and 2022. It would be redemption from failing to win any of their 3 previous trophies domestically this season. And on the record, Key, I personally think that Trentino is going to win this match.
Ooh,
Trentino
on the record. Okay,
Trentino
let's
is
go.
my pick to win this match. Trentino has the best player on planet Earth. That of course is the unicorn. That is Alessandro Micheletto. He is absolutely the man. We'll be talking about the dominant season that he had, but also very importantly, they get 2 key players back. They get Riccardo Spertoli back, who got hurt in the quarterfinal against Berlin, missed a lot of the domestic playoffs. So one could argue that Trentino would have finished a lot higher domestically if they had Spertoli the whole time. The other guy they get back is Daniele Lavia, their other world champion outside hitter who was injured for the 3rd place series in Italy. They kept him out just to prepare him for this match. He was a game time decision. Daniele Lavia will play. I love Trentino's out of system scoring ability. I love their block defense. I love their serving. And I just love Alessandro Micheletto. It's going to be really hard for me to pick against them and him, given what's on the line with sort of the disappointments of their failure to win some trophies this season. I think the redemption story is coming, and I think they're going to win this match.
First of all, before we go any further, I think for the fans, we need to clarify what exactly the unicorn means, because I've been calling him that, and I think that you started it, and maybe it was Dan as well
Yeah,
that
shout out
that
Dan
called him the
Manili.
unicorn. Yes, shout out you guys for creating this name because I think it's so beautiful for him. Basically, it's kind of like a basketball player, right? That can do a little bit of everything. They can shoot, they can guard, they can dribble, and in volleyball, he's pretty much that guy as well. He has excellent ball control. He's excellent height, excellent shots, excellent power. And that's why we gave him this unicorn name. Am I correct? Or does it come from
Absolutely.
something else?
No, you nailed it. He's just
Okay.
a unicorn is a once in a lifetime unique skill set creature, and in this case, athlete. And he's 7 feet tall. He's left-handed. He's a former libero with that level of ball control skill, and it has an amazing arm and all the offensive shots in his arsenal. He's a unicorn. He is one of a kind.
Is he
But
actually a former libero
oh
or
yeah,
just
oh
has
yeah,
libero skill? He
he
actually is.
he's
Wow,
actually a
that's
former
awesome.
libero, which is outrageous.
That's
So
insane.
it is
We have a
insane.
photo of, I don't know if we have a photo that we can put up now or later on of him and his growth spurt, because he at one point was the same size as all liberos, and he just shot up within 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Insane.
that photo up in a little bit. But
Okay.
as Trentino's starting lineup is introduced and no surprises, we got to quickly get to their opponents. We got to
Okay,
talk
yes.
about Jastrzębski Węgiel because this team has won major trophies this year. This is the team that has won the Polish Plus Liga about a week ago. They have won the Plus Liga now 3 out of the last 4 years. Jastrzębski Węgiel played in this super final match just last year, losing a 5-setter to Polish rival Zaksa. They're seeking their first Champions League title ever. Their road to the bracket went through Piacenza and Ziraatbank from Ankara. So they're back in Turkey where they have played Champions League this year already. And although Jastrzębski did not win the Super Cup this year, they lost to Zaksa. They did not win the Polish Cup. They lost to Zawiercie. But they did win the Plus Liga title again, 2-1 over Zawiercie in the final. Tomasz Fornal is the guy, last year's MVP of the Plus Liga. Jean Patry is having an amazing last month of volleyball, and Norbert Huber is having one of the great blocking seasons in all of volleyball history. 150 blocks total through Polish competition alone. That doesn't even include Champions League, like 1.2 blocks per set. It is one of the great seasons I have ever seen. And under Coach Marcelo Mendez, who is in this match last year, coming up just barely short, with Benjamin Toniutti at setter, who has won Champions League before in 2021 with Zaksa, JSW is looking to win a 4th Champions League title in a row for Poland. And Key, you like JSW. I think you're going to go on the record and pick them to win this match, right? That's what you told me.
They're my pony because I think, I mean, for a number of reasons, it's going to be hard to bet against Trentino. But like you said, I'm going to call it JSW as well because I don't want to
JSW, yeah.
mispronounce this team. But like you said, they've been having an incredible season and they're looking to bring home that title again for the 4th time for Poland. Here are my keys to success. French connection, Toniutti to Patry. They have a gold medal at the Olympics. They know how to get things done. like you mentioned, Hubert's block as well. He's been incredible, and he's going to be the one to slow down Michieletto. And then I think if they put pressure on Rick Litsky on the other
Ricklitsky.
side, I think they could really have some success. And we're already underway, so I don't want to talk over the first point, but Trentino already on the board.
Yep, Trentino's on the board. We've got the scoreboard there at the bottom of the screen. Y'all can see, keep along with what the score is. Make sure you're wherever you're watching the game, it's in sync with when we're watching the game. I think that's really going to help. So starting lineups for the two teams, there's absolutely no surprises. Oh, we already got the live serve speed graphic, man. The extra production in like all just this extra juice and energy and resources that goes into the Champions League Super Final is always just so awesome. So on the Trentino side, it is Riccardo Spertoli at setter. He is back. It is Kamil Ricklitsky at opposite. It is Alessandro Michieletto and Daniele Lavia at outside hitters. It is Jan Kozamernik and Marco Pedrasinin at middle blockers. And it is Gabriele Lorenzano at libero under head coach Fabio Soli. And for JSW, Norbert Huber and Yuri Glatter in the middles. Benjamin Toniuti at setter. Jean Patry at opposite. Tomasz Fornal, Rafael Shimura at outside hitters, and Kuba Popivchak at libero under Marcelo Mendez as head coach. Those are the sevens for both teams.
Looking pretty good. Were there any surprises there for you? I mean, I'll put it out there for anyone who's watching and is like, he doesn't know what she's talking about. I don't watch that much men's volleyball, but I did watch the semifinals of both these two teams. So this is pretty much, I think, what we were expecting, right? Are there any changes there that you're shocked by?
Nope, this is exactly what we were expecting. It was really just the questions of would Daniele Lavia and Riccardo Spertoli be healthy for Trentino? And the answer to both is yes, which is great news for neutral fans at least, because it's going to give us the best possible match here.
Well, there was the first. I've already been called out, and I said, all right, Ricklitsky might be one. I don't even want to say weak link, but one area that could be targeted, and he's already scored a point there. So yep. Good one, Keith.
Yeah, Ricklitsky's ability in a big moment in a championship match, I think, is a little bit fair to call into question as the last couple years. This is his first year in Trentino. He played the last 2 seasons, I think, in Perugia. Was at Lube before that. Has been on the disappointing side of some Champions League losses for sure. And just how and when do they want to rely on number 11 in dark blue? I'm curious to see that. That is an amazing dig against Michieletto. Ooh, great dig as well by Popivchak.
They're going to have a lot of amazing digs against Michieletto. So I want to talk a little bit about Fornal. You can see him on the screen there. So you and I chatted yesterday, and he's obviously the go-to guy for this team. However, how incredible is it that he might not even be a starting player for Poland at the Olympics?
Yep, that's the magic of the Polish national team right now. Yeah, they have by far the deepest outside hitter group in the world. I think Fornal is a lock to make the Olympic team, which honestly is saying a lot with all the players they have. I mean, Semeniuk, Śliwka, Leon, Fornal, Bednorz, Kfolek, Szalpuk, like that's 7 outside hitters that would start on just about any other team in the world, but it's going to be a dogfight for Olympic roster spots. At least in the Polish case. I don't envy Nikola Gerbich's job of having to try and pick these players. Fornal, the MVP of the Plus Liga last year, I think he's better when he's the guy. He's better when he's in a starting role and can really knows that he's going to be relied upon as one of the primary scorers, which he absolutely is in this match for JSW. And I think we got our first challenge in the books, a successful one from Mendez for JSW. Shimura got the block touch on its way out of bounds there.
Yeah, that's a good change because a 1-point differential versus 3 is well at any stage in the match, but also just to kind of establish the fight, the dog in the fight in the dog. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, big swing right there from the unicorn. So this is what I'm curious about. Benjamin Toniuti is a small blocker. Look at that. Alessandro Michieletto is going straight over the top of him. Like that is practically a cheat code and a huge mismatch that Trentino is going to look for whenever they're in system and Toniuti is going to try and block up there.
Oh, nicely done. Great hang there. I'm always watching, and I don't know if everyone does this for their own particular sort of position, but I'm always watching middle blockers. And I think that's why people think I'm so biased towards them. But look, Pedrasinin has to get up, back down, and go up again to get that pipe and kind of just hang there with that little bit of calf muscle. Like, that's the difference, just those tiny split-second decisions at
That
the
was
highest level.
that was crazy. It was literally a double jump in order to block
Yeah.
that ball, and then a good response there from Glotter. Yeah, if you get Pedrashin jumping twice, thinking big, set the quick right over the top of him. I like that choice. But so we talked about Norbert Huber and just how good he was. You certainly don't want to sell Yuri Glotter short either. He's one of the best middle blockers in the Plusliga this year. But I love this middle matchup on both sides. Speaking to the middle's key, because Kozamernik and Pedrashin, I think, are maybe the best middle duo that JSW will have seen in many, many months. Maybe since
Yeah.
they played against Robert Landy Simon and Piacenza in the quarterfinals of Champions League. Like they had to deal with Mateusz Biniak in the final of the Plusliga, but I wouldn't say Zawiercie had two middles of Trentino's caliber. So I'm curious to see how that matchup goes and how well Pedrashin and Kozamernik can move side to side, touch balls in the block, and slow them down, and allow Micheletto to have chances to score in transition.
Well, I'm actually curious about that as well, because you mentioned that you think maybe Poland is establishing themselves as, was that ball in?
I
Out?
think it might
Hang on
be.
one sec. Oh, we got another challenge. Yes, we do. I was gonna say, you said that you think maybe Poland is establishing themselves as the stronger league than Italy, but I think this head-to-head will show you maybe Italy has had tougher matches. I mean, they had to beat Lube to get here, and we were talking about this yesterday, that JSW, it seemed like their matches to get here were quite simple. They weren't really stressed. So is that telling me that the teams that they came up against, obviously they weren't Polish teams, did they have a tougher time, or did Trentino have a tougher time to get here?
Ooh, that challenge. That ball's just out. I honestly, I thought that was in real time.
That was way, what do you mean just out? That was like,
It was way
you
out
could
according to the challenge.
you could have had a nap there. There was
Yeah,
so
it
much
could.
space.
So I honestly I think that the paths for Trentino and JSW were pretty similar. Both of them got
Okay.
one of their matchups in the bracket that ended up being pretty easy. Like Trentino demolished Berlin in the quarter. Like that was not competitive at all. Like completely one-sided. The problem was that in that matchup, Riccardo Spertoli got hurt. And then that
Mm,
changed everything about the last month that Trentino has had. Then they had to work a lot harder to get through Lube Civitanova with a backup setter, but they were still able to do that. I think Lube
yeah.
had a bit of a down year. That name carries a lot of weight, but maybe not so much this year as previous years. JSW's quarterfinal match against Piacenza was much harder. That was a very competitive series. JSW actually lost that first leg in 5 on the road. Then they won 3-0 in
Okay.
a tight one at home because Marcelo Mendez so badly outcoached Andrea Anastasi, and they advanced to take on Ziraat Bank, who was very good but was undermanned at the time that just DSW played him. They didn't have Matt Anderson, and especially that first leg in Poland was not close, and it set them up for a pretty easy advancement criteria when they went to Turkey and won that one on the road in 5, I think.
Okay, and when you say Marcelo Mendez outcoached the other coach, because obviously he knows what he's doing. He's got an Olympic bronze medal with Argentina. Can you see what he's trying to do from the outside? I mean, obviously the players know, and as a player myself, you get a long scouting report that says, do this, block that, target this guy. But from a viewer's perspective, fans' perspective, can you tell his strategy?
I can, and just when what it comes down to me is how he organizes his block and defense. Think about it this way: you have 3 blockers at any given time. Think of that as like a finite amount of resources that you have to try and slow down an opposing team. And where do you
Mhm.
want to allocate those resources? That is
Yes.
the sort of decision that a coach will make is how where and how do you want to allocate your blocking resources in certain rotations. You can scout teams and see where they like to go in certain rotations, and just try to do your best to give your blockers information on where they might be going at certain times, who they want to slow down, how and when, what shots they want to take away, where their middles want to lean. And the way that JSW slowed down Piacenza's offense in that second leg of that match was a masterclass in coaching to me. Their block defense was everywhere. They touched so many
Mm.
balls, they dug so many balls, which is one of JSW's best team skills. They're an amazing backcourt defensive team. And then when they got into transition, they're really good at decision making, especially with a guy like Fornal. If he sees an opportunity to score, bang, off the block. If he sees an opportunity that he can't score, two-hand throw, tip, recycle, whatever. When
Yeah.
they get those balls into transition, they make really good choices. But getting those balls into transition comes from block defense, and that comes from scouting and coaching, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Again, this team, I don't know them inside and out, but from what I've seen of them, they do look in system more often than not, and I think that just makes it simpler on themselves. Any team will tell you if you're out of system, you're playing high balls, block on the other side is just much easier for them to slow down.
So that run right there to the Bick is a great example. Like that was a flawless pass. Fornal had no block up in front of him. Really good setting. And now we got some transition action on the Trentino side. Here's the block defense. Here's the out of system.
Oh, great
Oh my
job.
goodness.
Wait,
Whoa.
are we watching it in the same time? Because
I
I feel
think
like I saw that before
you
you.
might be a tiny bit ahead of me. I'm going to try and refresh my stream, but that was a dig kill from Riccardo Spertoli. An insane defense. Micheletto got one, Spertoli got one, and it went over and scored. That was incredible.
And because I thought that was a great shot by Patry. We were just talking about how, okay, they do a really good job of controlling the moments when they don't have a shot. Great tip by Patry. And then 3 or 4 bodies on the floor to keep it alive. Excellent work,
It was
Trentino.
incredible. And so I've been busy this week. I was out in California calling the men's NCAA championship at the
Yep.
university level, and one of the things we kept saying is even though every point in volleyball is worth just 1 point, sometimes a point feels like more than just a point. And when
Yeah.
you dig 2 balls like that and you end up scoring on one of them, the momentum that creates is worth more than just 1 point on the scoreboard.
Yeah. And also the fact that the other team finds it really frustrating to try and score. The team that's really good at defense is so annoying to play because you try everything to put the ball down. And if you are forcing a team to go over and over and over, eventually they start making mistakes. And that's when you tire them out emotionally, physically, mentally. So the team that's scrappy in defense, and it looked like that was a great example of it
Yes, that
from Trentino. That's worth definitely more than 1 point.
exactly what I was just gonna say. I think that was a flawless example that we just saw. Patry tried to do a little bit too much, came up short on the cross court shot. And it's funny too because JSW is normally the team that is annoying people by digging balls. I think they're getting a little
Yeah.
taste of their own medicine here early.
It's so interesting doing a watch along. I've never done one before, but half of me is like, I just want to watch and I forget to talk. I
No,
guess that's what you want. A good volleyball match will
that's
keep
what we
you,
want.
yeah,
Ooh,
keep
so
you engaged. Oh,
here
who's in the net there?
that was Rick Litsky on the follow through.
Yeah,
I'm actually
yeah.
surprised that Fornal didn't go over the center line on the pipe follow through. But yeah, there is another great dig. That time it was by a middle. You love when middles play defense. And it
We
almost
love
turned
that.
into a Trentino point. Like that, this is going to get in the heads of the JSW attackers a little bit, I think. Ooh, okay. Decent touch, but no defense back there. Marko Pedrašinin is so good, man. He's had such an
Yeah,
amazing career. Been a mainstay for Serbia since 2008. He's
yeah.
Serbia has a chance to qualify for the Olympics this summer. It's going to be pretty tight between them and Cuba probably. And Pedrašinin wants to go to one more before his career's over. I'd be shocked if he was around still in 2028, but he's got a chance one more time to play for a medal.
How old is he? Let me have a look.
Good question. Late 30s for sure.
Yeah, I've got him at 36.
That sounds about right.
Who and hang on, the guy the middle from JSW is how old?
Glotter is probably pretty
39.
similar. Yeah. Wow.
That's awesome. Good
That's
for him
amazing,
still
man.
playing in the legs and the knees and the back still working. Tell you what, you wouldn't catch me doing all those jumps these days.
Right?
Heck no.
I'm I'm 10 years younger than that, and I still couldn't play this much volleyball. Big shout out, by the way, to Louis Lett, our commentator buddy, our colleague, who is in the building in Antalya, Turkey right now, calling these games on Eurovolley TV and YouTube, doing an awesome job like always. Key and I can hear him a little bit in our ears, and just a
Yeah.
voice that always makes me smile. I love Louis
Yeah.
so much.
I hope that everyone's listening to him and to us. I know
Yeah.
it's probably really difficult to do with two voices in your head or even 3. We should listen into the coaches. That's my favorite part. Hang on one
Ooh,
sec.
yeah. Let's see.
Oh, we don't have mics in there.
We do. I just don't know if we're getting that audio. Oh man.
Oh, that's a
Well,
bummer.
another thing that's
Yeah.
really interesting is like Mendez, for example, who's Argentinian, coaching a Polish team. He coaches his team in English. And Key, you've played in settings like this. Like when you played in Italy, were you being coached in English and Italian, or just Italian, or just English? Like, how did that go for you?
Let me just say there were some moments where I was happy I didn't understand what was going on in the timeout. I had some very passionate coaches. Well, in Italy, I had the same coach 2 years in a row, but Carlo Parisi, he mostly spoke in Italian. Every once in a while, he'd throw in a few English words, but there were other people to translate around him, and they make sure they got their point across. But it's different every single team, every single coach. I think some, especially in maybe in Champions League, and I've noticed this with the men's, or sorry, with the women's. The coaches were swapping back and forth between English
Yeah.
and because I think maybe it depends which players are on court. If you have all Italian players, or in this case, all Polish players, the coach can speak that language. But if there's more internationals, then switch it up.
Yeah, another thing that's worth pointing out is that in a lot of the domestic leagues, like Italy and Poland are good examples. There, when you play domestically, there are limits on how many non-national players that you can have on the court at a given time.
Yeah.
In
Is
Italy,
it 3 for Italy?
in Italy, you
I
can
think.
have four. You
Oh,
can,
4. Okay.
yeah, you have to have three Italians in the starting seven. In Poland, you have to have three Polish players of the six on court. So the rule works a little differently, but it doesn't
Gotcha.
matter because in Champions League there are
Or
no
draw.
such
Yeah.
restrictions. You can play whoever you want, whenever you want. Doesn't matter where they're from.
Let's
Whoa,
go, Unicorn. Let's freaking go.
that was a rocket. 118. Man, yeah, that ball's moving.
All
4-point
right,
lead for the Unicorn.
he's gonna get these points. I mean, that is an insane serve. Do you see the way it's just kind of like changing angles in the air? It just kind of slides from
Sick.
left to right.
And when you don't play a lefty very often, you don't see the way that hooks the opposite direction from what you're thinking, unless you have
Mhm.
a lefty in your gym that you practice against a lot, which JSW does not. Also,
Mm.
it's coming from a literal height that, unless you play against a unicorn all the time, you literally never see that because you don't have any
Yep.
lefties that are that tall touching that high. Oh, big time block there from Fornal. Whoa.
Let's see
Tomáš
that one
Fornal
again.
is one of the very best outside blockers in the world. And I love this matchup for JSW, him against Rukliski out of the back row. Oh, that's massive. Yeah, Huber was there too.
I was gonna say I couldn't tell if it was. Oh, is that staying alive? No.
Ooh, really? A lift was called. Lift was called against Rukliski. Wow, against the offensive player. I am really
Ooh.
surprised by that.
I mean, he held that a little bit. He got a full hand
Ooh,
on it, and
okay.
then the push.
So
Yeah.
so this is gonna influence, if they're gonna call that throw that strictly, that's gonna influence a lot of what's going on in this match. Tomáš Fornal in particular loves to do that stuff. He
Mm,
loves to toe the line between a catch and a throw and a legal
yeah.
play, especially like the two-handed swipe thing. If that if the threshold for a carry is that low, it actually hurts JSW in my opinion.
Wait, but
So
you think that was low? Because maybe it was because it was in slow motion, but I thought I saw a full grab
no,
and throw,
the
and he wasn't going off a hand. I think when you can
players
get away
have
with it, when you joust, if you grab and throw, both hands are on it, but he was all alone with it.
that one looked let's put it this way. I've seen men's volleyball players in Champions League this year get away with a lot worse.
Okay, maybe it is
Tomas
also a
Fornal
men's
in
women's thing.
particular. Fornal
Oh yeah.
loves to do this stuff. There's a bunch of clips of him on Instagram doing things that, in my opinion, are blatantly illegal and getting away with them. That one from Igliski was just an everyday play, in my opinion. So I guess we'll see. Also, while we have a little time, we got this on the screen. We haven't really talked about it yet. It's I've titled it "Which League Reigns Supreme?" The Italian League, the Superlega, versus the Polish League, the Plusliga. Oh, huge block by Lavia. Speaking of great wing blockers, big one there. It's just been an interesting discussion the last few years about which domestic men's league is the best in the world. I think that has belonged to Italy for easily a decade now, but the Plusliga has risen and has improved and has just produced such great volleyball players and volleyball teams recently that I think it's a very real conversation that doesn't have a clear answer. Which league is better between the Plusliga and the Superliga? And both have won European competitions in the last 5 years. The last time Italy won one was Lube Civitanova in 2019 on the Champions League level. Of course, the Poland has, in the form of Zaxa, has won the last 3 Champions Leagues, looking for a 4th. Then the CV Cup and CV Challenge Cup have gone both ways. But this year's European club competitions, 2 Polish teams have won, looking for a 3rd to sweep the continent.
It's a lot of information you just gave us there. Okay, my question is, would you say that Poland, if you're making that argument that Poland and Italy are, or that Poland's even stronger than Italy, would you say from top to bottom equally strong? Because I think Italy is one of those leagues where if you get into A1, you're already at an elite level. Whereas some other teams, some other leagues, let's say France, for example, you can have a top level team that's competing in Champions League, but at the bottom, it's not even competitive. Would
Yeah.
you say that's the same? In
That-
Italy, it definitely, I think it is. But would you say it's the same for Poland, that it's from top to bottom strong?
I would say that. That's
Okay.
actually the main argument that I have with how good a league truly is
Mhm.
how good they are top to bottom. The Plusliga this year had 16 teams in it. Italy, the Superliga only
Oh,
had
wow.
12. And that was a topic of conversation as well. I think the Plusliga will go back down to 14 teams in the next couple years. But even the teams at the bottom, even the teams in the middle, are extremely good. And I think what it comes down to is the depth of domestic talent, because Poland has a 1 more players worth of restriction in foreigner limit than Italy does. You can have 4 foreigners on the court in Italy. You can only have 3 in Poland. So you need more great domestic talent in the Plusliga, and they have it. There are so many great Polish volleyball players right now that they can populate an entire league of 16 teams and have all of them be really competitive. It's like, on the women's side, it's the exact same argument that you made, Key. It's why I strongly think that the Italian league on the women's side is still a better league than the Turkish league. Because even though at the tops of the leagues they'll do battle at like the Champions League level and it'll be really competitive, but the lower level teams in Turkey are not competitive.
Mm,
Way less so than the lower level teams in Italy, and I think that makes a big difference.
yeah, a good point. Where do you watch the Polish league? Because it's not on Volleyball World. That's where I do most of my
It is
consumption.
not. Yeah, there's so they another thing that I think Poland does better than Italy is broadcasting. Even though it's not available as easily
Interesting.
outside the borders, their TV, their quality of broadcast,
Oh, yeah.
the way they schedule, the way that they just cover everything in the media in their country, way better than the Italian league. Like transformationally better. I think it's the best volleyball media ecosystem in the world is in Poland. I'm just really impressed with the way they cover everything. And there's ways to watch it. You can like VPN and watch from within Poland if you have a Polsat subscription. That's the easiest way.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
It's fantastic quality of sports broadcasting in Poland, and that I do give their league an edge for that as well, because they really outdo the Superliga in that area.
And is that just because the fan base is there? I mean, every time I've gone to Poland, I can't leave without hearing that song in my head. Do do
Polska
do do
biało
do do do. Do.
czerwone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you know the words. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
No,
Poland, white and red. Those are the words. And you're saying
yeah.
over and over again.
So,
Oh,
I
big
mean, the
block there.
fans are obsessed with volleyball there. So I feel like that the media kind of has to keep up with it.
Yeah, there's that, but also it's just from a federational perspective, like the way that they present the game is better.
Mm.
In Italy, it's just like a much more old school mentality of what they prioritize. As we've so by the way, in the game, Trentino's up 23-19, but they just called a timeout. Like, here's a good example. In the Italian playoffs, which are a big deal, they had 2 in the I think it was the quarterfinals. I think there were 2 of their quarterfinal series that went to 5 matches, that went the distance. And on the day that both of those 5th matches were to be played, they were scheduled at the exact same time,
That doesn't make any kind of
which
sense.
makes no
Yeah,
sense.
you're splitting your fans. Why would
Which
you do
makes
that?
no sense, and that's because in Italy, they don't care about broadcasting. They don't care about who watches on TV. All they care about is who goes in person to watch the games in the arena. They just have a very
Mm,
different and more old school mindset, in my opinion, of how they prioritize the presentation of the game. Poland would never do that. Actually,
mm.
sometimes to a fault. They try so hard to never overlap with having more than one Plusliga game on at a time. Sometimes it creates a schedule that's a little bit nuts, but uh, they would never do something like play 2 playoff games at the same time, which is the right way to do it, in my opinion. All right, we can get back to that conversation. We got set point Trentino here. We just saw a hitting error by Rafael Shimura. I mean, he was on the ground. I'm surprised they even set him. He had to get up
Was he?
from.
I don't know that name so well internationally. Is he? Well, we can maybe talk about it after this point. I want to see this. Oh, good save. Oh,
Beautiful. So
Slater's in as
yeah,
well.
that's Ryan Slater, the Canadian, who's the backup opposite. Has played at the Olympics. He's played at the high level in club. He's done a good job this year as kind of their second guy. Normally he comes in a 6-2, like with the backup setter, but this time it was just straight up 1-for-1 for 4-0. So like when this set is over and the first set stat report comes in, we'll take a look at it and see if Patri's been struggling a little bit. And I'm curious to see who continues. But yeah, Slater is a very capable guy off the bench. But work to do here for JSW down 2024. Shimura serving.
A lot of pressure on that serve. You knew that was going. You knew that was going to Michieletto.
Oh yeah. All right. Trentino draws first blood. Trentino draws first blood. 25-20.
And I think Shimura did a good job to actually serve him and try and get him out of that offense, but it's just not going to work when you've got a 7-foot libero, essentially. Like he just pops that up so simply.
So good. And then just they had a blocking sub in there as well. Yeah, Mustafa Mbaye, number 22, came in to try and block. No chance. No chance one-on-one against the Unicorn.
No chance. Okay, so back to the question I was going to ask you. His name is Shimura? Is that right? Am I pronouncing that right?
Shimura. You got it.
So would you say that is a question mark on JSW's sort of outside hitting spot?
I think it is a little bit. Where the rare times that JSW has struggled this year, it has been when Shimura has been put under a lot of pressure and has had to get substituted out. Their third outside hitter is a guy named Marko Sedlicek from Croatia, who, when he comes in my opinion, you've got big problems. Because I wouldn't say that he belongs on the court very much at this level. But Shimura has been a really valuable player for JSW the past 3 or 4 years. He's been there for a long time, but he's always been the third outside hitter. He's always been like the first guy to come off the bench for like reception stability or serving, or just if a guy's having a rough night. But just the way that JSW constructed their team this year, they lost Trevor Cleveno, who started for him last year.
Right.
He went over to Zavierce. And they didn't really replace Cleveno with a guy internationally renowned at that same level. So it kind of fell to Shimura to step up and be a more starting caliber player this year. And to his credit, throughout the Plus Liga playoffs, Shimura was outstanding. He was outstanding, and they would not have won the Plus Liga title without him playing really well. So yes, I agree. I think that if there was one issue coming into the season on paper for JSW, it would have been Shimura. But the way he's been playing lately, I have a lot of faith in what he's doing. If they start to get in situations where he's needing to score you a lot of points and out of system balls, then you're in a little bit of trouble. That's just not a skill set that he has. He's not a huge guy with a lot of scoring ability against a lot of blockers. But he can do everything else in just a real rock solid, consistent way when called upon. But if you're Trentino, you're trying to make him touch the ball as much as possible.
And I was going to say, because I didn't, obviously we're doing a lot of talking and trying to watch at the same time, but I didn't even notice when Patry was subbed out for Slater at one point. What do you think was going wrong there? Because, I mean, obviously they were scoring less points than the other team, which tends to be something you don't want to do in volleyball. But
all right, we've got the stats. We've got the first set stats in, and so I have them up on the screen. Key, if you have the link, just refresh it, and you'll be able to see what I'm looking at here. Jean Patry in the first set, 2 for 7 attacking with 2 errors. That's 0% efficiency. So just not a good enough start for Jean Patry. So Slater came in, and he went 1 for 2 on limited attempts. So I would be shocked if Patry didn't come back in to start the second set. That's what I expect. But they weren't getting enough scoring. He wasn't terminating enough, and they have a decent guy off the bench, so that's what they chose to do. That's my assessment anyway. And sure enough, second set, here we go, and Patry is back in the starting lineup.
Good tip cover that from 4 now. Doesn't go with the 3-man block, but just.
Are we back on already?
Whoa.
Yes, they're already in.
And a bomb down the line off the shoulder of the defender by Patry. So he's ready to go. No surprise there. This is an Olympic gold medalist who, man, I keep saying it. I've been saying it for 3 years, and I will die on the hill. Jean Patry should have won the MVP of the 2021 Olympics. He should have won the MVP of that.
Who won it instead? Do you
Ngapet,
remember?
which is not surprising. He's amazing. But the way that Patry played in those 3 playoff matches they had, they beat Poland, they beat Argentina, they beat Russia. Patry was the best player in the tournament, in my opinion. He was incredible.
Do you think it has something to do with his showmanship or perhaps lack of showmanship? Because I think he's an incredible player. You saw what he could do there, turning around the block to go to the line. But he's not super showy. He's not super flashy. So he's just kind of going about his business, another day at the office. And I think he can be a little bit overlooked unless you're actually studying the stats and you're a volleyball-minded person. He can be overlooked in that sort of MVP category.
I think you're absolutely right, Key. I think you nailed it. Unless you're really looking at the production, he doesn't look like he doesn't look as flashy, or he doesn't generate as many highlights as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of highlights, has a massive block from Fornal again, but he hits the ball high, it's the ball deep. He plays very consistently, but yeah, I agree. I don't think he has like the wow factor of some players, and maybe that does have an influence.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's a positive or a negative, I think there's probably room for both kind of player. An Ngapeth who's just absolutely there for the stadium and the people in the gym, and also people that are just getting the job done and old-fashioned volleyball style. I mean, I would like to see more characters emerge in volleyball. I think there are the other sports that just love their personalities, and I think basketball is a great example of it. You can pick out any number of incredible players, but also their personalities kind of shine. I think we have a lot more space for that in volleyball, just creating these sort of superheroes, these avatars that fans can really latch onto. And that's one reason, and I don't know if this is just me being completely superficial, but for example, Fornal dyeing his hair, like he's now very recognizable as that character with blonde hair, and he's, creating something for fans to really enjoy. We could do a way better job of that as players.
I agree. I love the superstar power of these athletes, and the attention that some of them can garner outside of volleyball is rare and cool when it happens. Fornal is definitely a guy like that, and Patry I wouldn't say is. He's a little bit of a quieter guy, but a darn good volleyball player.
It's so funny when I talk about Fornal like that as well, because when I first met him, it must have been VNL 2021. I think he had braces. He was not playing. He was super young, really quiet member of the team, and he's really grown into this persona, and it's awesome to see.
It is awesome to see. Hey, Key, do me a favor. Can you refresh your video chat browser? Because I hear you flawlessly, but we're hearing that there's an echo in your voice. So just refresh, and we'll see if it gets fixed. Everything should work just fine.
Perfectly in front of him, he's going to lose some of those sharper angles. Kozamernik has been very strong.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Better? Well, let me know if you're hearing anything echoey.
It's interesting because I hear you flawlessly on my side, and everything looks and sounds fantastic. So I don't know what the deal is.
First time knowing when to release. And
fans
this time holding late with the middle with Huber, and Huber has a puzzled look on his face. Micheletto loves it.
Trying to read the chat, see if anyone's.
Wow.
Yeah, I do see a lot of people saying Cree. Cree's voice is echoing. I love you guys. I love it. Yeah, I'm not sure where it's coming from.
You know what I think it was? I think the people can hear your voice through my headphones into my microphone. I think that.
You think?
I think that's actually what's happening here. So I just turned the volume down a little bit in my headphones, and hopefully that helps.
Yeah, maybe I'll stop yelling.
No, you sound fantastic. So I think that's probably the issue. Let us know if it sounds a little better now, ladies and gentlemen.
Meanwhile, what's happening in the volleyball game? 4-4. Okay, here we go.
Oh yeah, that was it. Sure enough. Okay, I fixed it. That's crazy that people could hear
So,
you through my headphones through this microphone.
either way,
better sound isolating
onto the
headphones, I
front court
guess.
receiver.
Yeah, or maybe
Sorry,
you're
it wasn't
just
the
so
front court
deaf that
receiver,
you have to have me
Volleyball's
so
front court
loud because
receiver,
you've been
and,
doing so
he
much
was
of
opened
this.
up, but he can't put the ball away.
You're not wrong.
And,
Okay,
it's,
that right there is a very
good
good out-of-system
decision-making
swing by
from,
Kamil Orklitzki, and that
Wriglitsky.
is a very good sign if you're a Trentino fan. If
and
he
in
can
these sorts of
score, like,
situations
look at
where he's
this.
not fully in rhythm, he's in
One-on-one,
transition.
great dig
First
by
of all,
Spertoli,
Spertoli again
quick
just
transition, gets a couple
chips in
feet
with an
off the net,
outrageous touch.
gets a high
Sees
ball
that
set,
turn back line, but
off
just
And
the
a
again-
swing
yeah,
just to
off the
stay
best
hard off
blocker
the
in the
hands.
world, and he scores
There's no
anyway.
real
That's good.
sharp angles available.
And we're talking about, again, Trentino just really frustrating
side of the-
JSW in those shots that they want to play. And he thought he had a good one there. He's like, I'm going to put it on the
That's
setter. I'm going to
better.
put it short behind this block. No problem. Point for
Three
us.
just
Nope.
fires deep into the
Conversion
corner.
by the Italians.
Well, after the opening set, we have some
Yeah, I've
stats
been
for you.
super impressed by
Progression in with 5
Trentino's
points.
defense
That's a
so
good
far.
return
Been
from
really,
Micheletto.
really
Mm.
impressed.
Micheletto with the 7.
So, we haven't really, we touched on it a little bit, but Spertoli, is it Aquarone? I was calling him Aquaman. Was
Aquarone is
it?
the backup setter who played while Spertoli was out.
Yes. And they got themselves here with their backup setter. That's incredible.
It is incredible.
Wriglitsky again doing a good job of getting
But
free of the
Spertoli's back in.
the
He's
hand.
fine, all
That's
healthy,
another tight play that's just fired up from,
all good to go.
Zamora.
Yep,
when
Spertoli
that
played a
ball's
little
tight, you're
bit
going to see
in the
players
third
work
place
off the
series in
hands.
Italy, and he is fully 100% ready to go.
Best
For a while
receiver,
there,
the
they
Polish
would
Cup
bring
in
him in, but they wouldn't let him
2019,
block because that was most likely to
the
hurt his
competition
recently
chipped in with the
broken
points, 10
finger.
points.
But
Yeah, I
he's
can
back.
imagine.
He's playing 6 rotations. He's good to go. I mean, you played middle blocker key. I'm sure you've had some finger injuries. We all have.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna knock on all the things that I've been more injured since retiring from volleyball than I actually did when I was playing, which is incredible. I once fell off a podium while I was commentating. Where were we? Poland or something like that. I went to go do an interview and I just fell straight off the podium and just broke everything on
Oh no.
myself. But when I was actually playing, yeah, I was fine. Fingers are fine, ankles are fine, knees were fine. I think your body just, yeah. But yeah, I can imagine if he broke his finger, that's the last thing he'd want to do would be put it in the firing range of any of the Fornal or Patry.
Okay, there's a question in the chat that I actually love. It says, does the fact that Trentino is missing their starting setter for a month, does that have an impact on the merit of Micheletto taking Trentino to the final? And I say absolutely 100% yes. It is so impressive that Trentino on Micheletto's shoulders was able to get here through a very good team in Ljubljana without their starting setter. That is 100% credit to the merit of Alessandro Micheletto and the rest of this team without their starting setter to get to this point. That is remarkable. And again, I think you could easily make a case that their luck in their domestic league would have been different if they had had Spertoli the whole time, as Micheletto rips yet another ace. This dude is on one tonight.
And that's exactly it. I think, I mean, I don't want to take away credit from the rest of the team because we'll probably talk about Micheletto till the cows come home. But this is exactly why we give him so much credit. He is so well-rounded as a player. He doesn't have a weak zone in his game.
Which he goes to now, 4 now.
Oh, great D. And there it is again. Okay, the blocking. Podraskanin. I think so. And this is, I may be counteracting what I just said, but I think the best teams in volleyball are the ones that are really have players in every single zone that are contributing to the win and don't have just one standout player. So yes, Micheletto, incredible. He's going to get his aces. He's going to get his kills. But they have, like you mentioned, 2 of the best blockers in the game. They had their backup setter and now their starting setter that's doing well. Just every zone for Trentino is firing. So question mark to me, why did they not win anything in the domestic league?
Great question. Yeah, early in the year they played the Super Cup and they lost to Perugia, and Perugia is amazing. They went on to win the Scudetto, so like no shame in that. They lost the Italian Cup to Monza in the semis in a 5-setter, which was a little bit random and a little bit weird. I will give you that. That was unexpected.
Who did they lose to?
They lost to Monza.
Monza, okay.
who ended up then beating them in the semifinals of the playoffs a couple weeks ago, which
Who
was
plays on Monza's team? I'm trying to
so
think.
Monza this year. They had Ran Takahashi, they had Kachopa,
Mm,
the Brazilian setter. They had 3 Canadians, Stephen Marr, Eric Lepke, Arthur Schwartz. They had a couple Italian middles. They were very good, but
yeah.
Monza in the semifinal against Trentino was down 2-0, came back and won the series 3 matches to 2, which it was an all-time insane series. But Trentino was missing their starting setter the whole time. So I think
Mm.
that it might have been a little bit different if Spertoli was playing, but that's not to take away what Monza accomplished. They had one of the great playoff runs I've ever seen. Oh, okay, Lorenzano, nice dig, but not good enough. So that right there, Shimura, like, able to hit that sharp of an angle inside the block, that was pretty sweet. That was pretty
From
impressive.
from way out of system bump set outside the court.
What
That
a
is
cover by Glover too.
dominant.
Woo!
That's so good. Were there 3 blockers
3 blockers.
up on that as well? And it's bump set from outside the court behind him.
Yeah, that was sick. That was a great swing.
That's nasty.
But I like your point about you have to be a well-rounded volleyball team to win at this level. You can't just have one guy, and both of these teams do. Like, clearly, so they have a couple superstars and their guys that they go to when they desperately need a point. But these are the most well-rounded teams maybe in all of Europe, and it's no
Mm,
coincidence that they got to this point. And I think that Zaksa's last 3 Champions League wins over the last 3 years kind of redefined what a great club volleyball team looked like in how well-rounded they were. That team didn't really have any superstars, not at least on the caliber of a Micheletto or even maybe a Fornal. They were just such an amazing all-around volleyball team, top to bottom, 1 through 7, even like 1 through 14, that they were able to win 3 Champions Leagues in a row. And I think a lot of clubs took a lot of notes on how that team was constructed, keeping players for longer durations than just 1-year contracts, building a program instead of just like trying to grab the best players each offseason. It changed a
mhm.
lot, and I think it changed a lot for the better.
Yeah, I agree with that mentality. Keeping players that you think add something, but also because if you're taking a new player every single season, yes, his stats may say one thing, but you're kind of uprooting his whole life. And I think people don't think about the actual personal things that are going on. Players start to feel comfortable. They start to know the club. They start to know the fans. They start to know their living arrangement. They start to just, you can really settle into a club. And I think that's when your game can start to elevate because you know what you need to do to get your best game at that club. And then every year, if you're changing year by year by year, new team, new teammates, new coaching style, new apartment, new friends. I mean, that can be really damaging emotionally if it's not the right one. So definitely a good strategy to keep players for longer that you think are doing well.
I think that's a fantastic point. We don't talk about the humans enough in the game of volleyball.
Yeah. I'm all about talking about the humans. I mean, I've been there, I've lived it. There's
Oh, yeah.
sometimes you might be like, this is such a great team. I'm so excited to go to it. And you get there and you realize I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like you're getting the best volleyball out of me. And you can't really put a finger on what it is, but if you find the place where you do get the best out of yourself, it's always good to stay there a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was that in? Is
It
that
was
what?
not. It was close.
Oh.
Fornal had enough pure arm power to get that one out of bounds off the block.
Yeah, I feel like I saw a lot of him just swinging off the block in the semifinals
That's what
when
he
they
does.
played against.
His
Yeah.
block vision is incredible. Okay, right there. We got to talk about what happened right there. So we talked earlier, Key, about Benjamin Toniuti being a weakness in blocking just because he's small. What
Mm.
what JSW will do is when the
Oh,
ball
I see.
yes, when the ball's served well enough like that, and their opponent has an out of system swing, is that Toniuti just won't block. He won't
Just
even
pulls
bother.
off. Yeah.
They'll just pull off, and they'll let Huber and Fornal come over to the left side and just put up 2 blockers against the out of system swing. And Toniuti will kind of play behind them for off speed defense. Worked to perfection right there.
Yeah.
All because of the service pressure of Yuri Glotter. And there's another bomb. Wow.
Another one. I think that's the exact same thing. Right? Oh, it went off the hands and
Yeah.
out.
But
But the
the
same
exact same
strategy.
scenario. Yep. And that was something we saw Zaksa do in 2021 when they won their first Champions League with Toniuti. Same thing. When their opponent was out of system and Toniuti was in the front row, he would just pull off and they would block with 2 guys and he would try and dig off speed, and it worked pretty well for him.
And I love that because I think a lot of times players or people will ask me like, "Oh, I have to be so tall to play at the highest level." And I'm like, first of all, there's plenty of different positions you could play, setter and libero being one of them. And if you're good enough at that position, your team will find a way to make it work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's finding a way, Louis.
We love Louis.
Yeah, I spent 6 weeks with Louis in India. We were commentating the Rupee Prime Volleyball League out there, and we just had so much fun. So yeah, same thing. Listening to his voice, I'm like, let's go.
Hard not to have fun around Louis. That swing right there from Fornal is so good. That he's 4 hands in front of him. That ball was hit upwards. He had no intention of hitting the court there. All he wanted was high hands, and he got it. The thing is, though, when Trentino's in system, good luck. Well, both of these teams are insanely hard to stop when in system. This is a dime from Gabriele Lorenzana, who I think deserves a lot more credit than he typically gets at the libero spot for Trentino.
Mm.
And then Micheletto one-on-one. Good luck.
Lorenzano, also a name that I didn't recognize so well. Is he new this season with?
So he played for Trentino last year. He played.
But was he the backup?
No, he started last year. He's a
Okay.
young kid though, and he hasn't
Yeah,
cracked the national team yet. But I think that
20 years old. I have
Yeah.
him as.
Yeah, exactly. He played for Toronto 2 years ago in Southern Italy,
Mhm.
and that was when he was first on my radar. And then he was so
Okay.
good for a lesser team that Trentino signed him, and that says a lot.
Yeah.
He is a world-class defender. His defensive ability is off the charts, but his reception has improved at least since being with Trentino. But he has every bit of the defensive ability of the top liberos in the world for sure.
Would you argue that Trentino is one of those teams as well that loves to sort of foster young players and keep them through the ranks? I mean,
Absolutely.
Micheletto is a great example of that, right? He's only ever played for Trentino. He's that's his hometown.
Yep.
That's where he grew up, and but they do a great job of bringing in young players and kind of fostering their growth.
Yeah, born and raised
Literally, for
Trentino,
Micheletto.
Micheletto's case. Yes, Trentino is one of those awesome franchises, top
Mhm.
to bottom, including coaching, including management, including ownership. That club does such a good job at every level, including at their youth levels, because especially in Italy. I'm not quite sure, or I'm not as sure of the system in Poland, but like Trentino has teams that go all the way down to like the 12-year-old level. And that's where
Mm.
Micheletto has played his whole life. He's been in Trentino. He's played for their different age groups of the different levels and has worked his way all the way up to the Superlega and is now the best player on the planet. And he's only ever played in the Trentino system. Absolutely, that matters.
Oh, great swing off the big fella there. And also just a cheeky little defense from Toniutu just to kind of put a nail in that one, that he's not a weakness in defense either, if you were thinking, that he would be.
Right. Yep. Like you said, Key, if doesn't matter how tall you are, if you can find a way to help your team, you can find playing time.
Yeah.
It's dead tied here, 15-15 in the second. It was similar in the first, but right about now was when Trentino pulled away, ended up winning at 25-20.
Oh, inside the block. Do you think most people that are watching this watch along are also watching the game, or do you think
hope so.
they're relying on us to tell them everything that's happening? Because I feel like
I sure
if
hope
that were
so.
the case, we've kind of missed the mark there on. But like, okay, so he's just a little bit off the net. Podrasinin,
That's
didn't
through
have
Russian.
enough time to get there and kind of was
And
floating off.
Shimura's having himself a really good second set. He was not good in the first, hit negative efficiency, 1 for 6 with 2 errors, but wow, great run there to Lavia. Yeah, Shimura's look real good in the second set. He's got to be great because I really don't think they have an option off the bench after him.
Mm.
Speaking of great world-class secondary outside hitters, shout out to Daniele Lavia. He would be the number 1 guy on just about every team in the world, and it's really cool that he and Micheletto have been playing together at every level, club and international, for now, I think 3 years.
That's awesome.
It's a great duo. And when especially at the outside hitter position, when you play next to somebody like that so consistently, you have just this unspoken level of trust and communication in reception that really, really matters. When you're used to passing next to a guy, that really makes a big difference.
Yeah, and Levia, I've got him at 24 and Michieletto 21. So they might have just missed each other in the juniors, or were they also like in
I'm
the,
not sure where
under
Levia grew
19s and
up.
under 21s?
Yeah, maybe they played those levels together, but Levia played for Modena club-wise for a year or two before he came over to Trentino around the time of the pandemic and hasn't left.
Mm. There comes the pipe. Beast mode. Whew.
That was awesome.
Have we seen? And again, this is kind of hard because I feel like we haven't been fully paying attention, but I feel like we haven't seen a lot of pipe out of Michieletto. Oh, it was it Michieletto? Yeah, it was Michieletto.
That one was, yeah.
Oh, great slow-mo by the camera crew.
Oh, that ball was just destroyed. Yeah, Micheletto's face. That's pretty funny. Key, you might be a second or two ahead of me. I'm trying to refresh and fix that.
Yeah, I'm just watching from the YouTube stream.
Yeah, me too. Okay, they got a transition look. 2-point Trentino lead. This is about the point where they separated. You got to be real careful here if you're JSW. Real careful.
Yeah. Oh, Tanietu staying in the block there. Yeah, Lavia, he's super consistent, right? That's kind of what I've noticed of him. He's not the go-to guy in every situation, but I think that almost makes him a better player because they're not throwing him ugly junk out of system. They're giving that more to Michieletto or more in the opposite spot. Why don't we have the mics in the timeout? This is frustrating me. This is my favorite. This is my favorite part about watching volleyball games is hearing what the not the referees. Sorry, no offense, referees, but I don't get what you're saying. But what the coaches are saying. I love hearing, the interior workings of the match.
Me too.
Because we can sit here and talk about it forever, what we think. Oh, he's cute. Cute little fella. But the coaches really give us that insight.
All right, JSW's got to side out this ball.
Oof.
Uh-oh. That ball's definitely out of bounds. I didn't see a touch, Key.
I don't know.
That ball's straight out of bounds. Nowhere near Spertoli. Uh-oh. 3-point game.
Oh, great dig. Let's go. Okay, but free ball now. Surely they'll put this away. Back to Fornal. There he is. Finds it. He hasn't been in his highest performing match today.
Yeah.
The matches I was watching before in the semifinals, Fornal was just like the go-to guy. Seemed like he was just really comfortable scoring. Trentino's making it so tough on him to get in the zone, get in his groove.
Yeah, Fornal hit negative in the first set. 2 for 6 with 3 errors. Been better here, and he's got to continue to be better. I like that repeat set too from Tony Uti. But yeah, it's good. Oh, okay. Now we got the double substitution.
Slater again,
so
yeah.
Slater and Machionchik, number 17, I think is the backup setter.
Okay. Oof. Lavia again. I'm looking at Rich Litsky didn't swing on this, but he was in the picture there. Does anyone else think? I'm gonna wait to say it till Rick Litsky gets on screen. But I have a celebrity doppelganger that I want to know
Yeah?
if
Okay,
anyone else agrees with me.
I'm curious.
Now I need the camera crew to go straight on him. Yeah, Trentino
Oh,
now at
no.
4.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. That ball went right through Machionchik's hands. Oh, no. Oh, no. In a Champions League final. Oh, no. And he'll go right back to the bench. Oh, yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Keith,
I'm not sure.
can you do me a favor?
What's up?
Can you go to your YouTube live stream and press pause and then wait 2 seconds and then press play? Because
Dang it.
For
Okay.
some reason,
1,
like mine says live,
2.
you're definitely ahead of me by a little bit.
Okay, what are you seeing now?
Patry just scored down the line. I'm seeing Patry in the replay, and here comes the replay.
Patry in the replay. Okay, so I gotta
Peep
pause
shock,
again.
Tony Uti, Patry, spike speed 110, and now back to the live with Glatter. Is that about right?
Yeah, Glatter is about to serve, and he contacts the ball now into the net.
Okay, you're still about 2 seconds ahead of me.
Okay, 1, 2. All right, now I'm getting the overhead shot
Me too.
of the court. Okay, good. Let's be on the same page here.
23-19 Trentino. Could go up
How do you
2-0
serve?
here. Cover.
Oh,
Oh, there's bodies flying everywhere. Oh, that's such a clutch put away by
inside.
Fornal. Had to have
Great
it.
shot. Great shot. I feel like he's a confidence player, and Trentino are just stripping him of that.
Nailed it. Well said.
3
Fornal's an
blockers.
insanely confident player. He loves playing with a little bit of flair, talking to the crowd a little bit, and they've shut him down
Yeah.
mostly. Oh yeah, mismatch. Great setting from Spertoli.
I mean, could this end up being a 3-0 in your eyes? And would that completely negate your whole argument about Poland being a stronger league than Italy?
No, there's more to it, but I think that Poland's been knocking on the Polish league has been knocking on the door for so long that if they win this match and win 4 Champions Leagues in a row, then I think the title is theirs of best league in the world. But like if
Right.
Trentino wins this game this convincingly, then we might have to rethink it.
Yeah.
But still, it's worth remembering Poland has already won 3 Champions Leagues in a row.
Yeah.
That is an
Yeah.
insane swing by Fornal, by the way, against the one-on-one. Look at this Selly too. Love it.
The Selly. All right, pressure though on the serve now. Here we go.
Whoa.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, here I am talking pressure. He does not care. He gives 0 Fs and he goes for it. Nice.
Love it. This is a bomb. What's the speed number on this? That is right in the chest of Lorenzano.
And again, the one that kind of curves inside.
Good
Okay,
timeout. Yeah,
Ooh.
really smart timeout from Soli.
Yeah, they got to do it. Okay, there's Rick Litsky in your background. Jack Harlow. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it.
I think it's the hair a little bit. Like it's a little fluffy on top. I mean, a huge compliment. Jack Harlow's great. We love him. Good looking guy.
So, speaking of Rick Litsky's appearance, it reminds me of a very famous or infamous moment when Rick Litsky was playing for Lube in 2021. This was back when he had really long hair. And he had long hair for a long time. It always looked ridiculous to me. But one particular match, he somehow got his long hair into cornrows.
Oh.
Played a match with cornrows and a headband. It was one of the most ridiculous looks I have ever seen in volleyball. I have the photo. I'll see if I can put it on the broadcast. It's it was something. We got it.
Michieletto, you knew it was going to him.
He's the guy.
Dang. I mean, great timeout to try and slow down Fornal, and I think he had to take a little bit of heat off that. Still a tough serve though. And then
Yeah, they got
Michieletto
him into
into
a
3
3-man
out of
block
bounds.
situation, but Micheletto's just too good. Like, look how high he's going there. That is 2 blockers that are at least 205 or taller, and look at him pointing to his head like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I got this."
Yeah. I think the intention there when guys are like, "Here, let's be smart." It's more like, "Hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves right now. We still have a lot more work to do." But I don't know. They're looking really good right now. I might be eating my words about JSW.
This is really, really impressive from Trentino. I'm gonna refresh the stats and see when we get the set 2 stats in. Yep, they are in, it looks like. Yes, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got it on screen. Let me make sure we've got it on screen. Yes, we do. All right. I'm looking at some things here. So Shimura for JSW is now in positive efficiency. And so is Fornal. Not really by much. Patry 7 for 17, 3 errors. That's like okay, but maybe not stellar. You know what is stellar? Alessandro Micheletto, 13 points, 10 for 16 attacking, no errors, a block and 2 aces, 63% efficiency. That
Yeah.
is off the charts. That's crazy good.
But is it off the charts for him? For
Yes,
me, that's just
even for
that's a
him.
day at the office. No way. Come
Even for
on.
him, like if you're either an outside hitter or an opposite, if you're above 50% efficiency, like including when you subtract the errors,
Yeah.
that is an otherworldly performance. Like Micheletto was far and away the best player in the world this whole club season, won the MVP in Italy by far because he had one of the great efficiency seasons I've ever seen. I think he hit like 430, like 43% efficiency on the season, which is for an outside hitter is like a number that I've never even heard of before. And right now he's at 63%. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. 0 errors, 10 for 16, no errors, and 2 aces and a block. It's incredible. Rick
He
Liskey's
is a
playing
beast.
okay, 10 for 25 errors. Lavia 5 for 15, 2 errors. That's less efficient, but Micheletto has been so darn good that here we
He's just been
are with
holding it on his shoulders. Yeah.
Trentino up 2-0. This is I mean, Micheletto has already won a Eurovolley. He's already won a world championship. The latest thing he might add to the collection is a Champions League, and if he does it with putting the team on his back like this is a legacy cementing potential achievement for like a 22-year-old kid. Maybe he might only even be 21. It's absurd.
Yep. We call him the unicorn for good reason. So on the other side, I'm looking at the other opposite, Jean Patry, 7 points. So that's a huge difference between the guy that's supposed to be scoring points but has actually been subbed out both sets. If Patry cannot get going, Fornal's gotten going a little bit. He's got 12. But if Patry can't get going, do we think that that's a complete mismatch and they're just Fornal can't do it all on his own?
No, Fornal can't do it all on his own. Contrary to what my good buddy Everett Delorme said on our podcast, the 9x9 last week, he thinks that right now Fornal is playing better than Micheletto as of the last couple weeks. I told him that was the craziest take I've ever heard because Micheletto
I love
can.
listening to you guys, by the way,
Right?
go back and forth because
Mi-
some things you agree 100% on, but when you don't, it makes for very good TV.
Yeah, that was an entertaining one. Micheletto can single-handedly win you a Champions League. Fornal cannot. Fornal needs somebody else. And I think right now, JSW's first ball side out offense is okay. They've been getting blocked too many times. 9 blocks for Trentino through 2 sets is a lot. But in my opinion, it's got to be coming from the service line for JSW. They've got to serve the ball a little bit tougher. You can see Trentino's reception numbers. 63% positive, 42% perfect is extremely good. That is extremely good reception. And JSW's got to put way more pressure on than that. If they
got a
can't,
little bit
then
better.
it got a little bit better.
First set was 78, and then it went down to 50. So they have put a little bit more pressure from set 1 to set 2.
Well,
You're right.
There's going to have to be more where that came from because they have no chance of stopping an in-system Trentino when Micheletto is playing this well. Even
And how about
Norbert Huber, like Huber's been the best blocker on the planet this year. He has 2 blocks, but just hasn't been as much of a factor. Trentino's done an excellent job of sort of neutralizing his impact.
And the team that's doing all the blocking, Trentino has 9 in 2 sets, 9 blocks. That's
a lot.
That's great.
Huge number.
Yeah.
4.5 blocks per set as a team is crazy.
But I guess you can kind of expect it, right? Champions League final. And I think a lot of players either turn it on and they have their best game ever, or the pressure just gets to them.
Right. That's a very real thing. I mean, a lot of these players have been in the super finals before and have lost. The only players off the top of my head in this match that have won a Champions League are Tony Uti with Zaxa in 2021 and Huber with Zaxa last year. A lot of these Trentino guys, especially the ones that have been around for a long time, some of them were on the 2021 team that lost. Even more of them were on the 2022 team that lost. And I don't think they have a guy who's won one of these things. Yeah, I don't think so. But now this is the best position they've ever been in. They haven't been up 2-0 since probably their 3-peat in 09, 2010, 2011. Like this is Trentino's best chance ever to win a Champions League, and they're gonna have to earn it. Not over yet, but they're playing better right now for sure.
One of my favorite things about chatting with you is that you're like an encyclopedia for all things volleyball history. Like you're just rattling this off the top of your head. Love that. All right, we're underway again. Folks, if you're not watching, set number 3 underway. Come on, my pony. JSW.
So just a reminder for everybody, if you're coming here to this stream expecting to find the match, this is just our watch along. We're watching the match in the background, and we hope that you guys can do the same and listen to us and just interact in the chat and have a little bit of fun. But if you're looking for ways to watch the match, there's 2 ways. They're both linked in the description of this video. One is on Eurovolley TV. The other is here on YouTube if you purchase the legendary tier membership subscription. So both of the links that you need for those things are in the description of this video. Go look in there if you're looking for links to actually watch the match.
And someone's just said in the chat, crazy to think they aren't going to be in Champions League next season. We discussed that earlier on in the match.
Even if Trentino wins, they are not playing Champions League next season because they finished 4th in the Italian league. Crazy.
And yeah, I think the point you made earlier about them having a point to prove because of it, like they haven't won anything. If they win this, they cement themselves. Okay, we are as good of a team as we thought. At least a consolation, I guess. There's a lot of good things going on in the chat here. Actually, I haven't been paying attention to it. Someone said Micheletto's a beast when it comes to using hands. He's unstoppable. That's interesting because I feel like he just goes straight over the top.
I think that's why he's so good at using hands, is because he can go over the top of a lot of blocks, and he's contacting the ball relative to the height of blockers way higher than most. So the deflections he can get off the hands are different than most players. As we like to say, Key, you can't teach height. Can't teach height.
You certainly cannot.
Can teach a lot of things. Height is not one of them. You either have it or you don't. Oh, wow. That is an amazing dig by Spertoli. Sloppy bump set, though. Look at that. What a smart play. Trentino pulled their hands away on the block. Whoa.
I'm surprised we don't see that more often. I mean, they are, like we said, but they're just frustrating.
So that
great up.
Incredible dig. And then the knowledge and the look at that. Micheletto,
he knew all day long.
Knew that Patry was swinging for hands and not court and took the hands away. That's genius. That'll really get in Patry's head as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good from Fornal.
There he is, Harlow.
Jack Harlow. Back to our display of which leagues have won what in the past couple years in the CEV level. This year, CEV Cup won by Resovia, Challenge Cup won by Warszawa. That's 2 Polish teams. JSW trying to complete the sweep, but not looking super good right now. Trentino looking to break a streak of 3 straight Champions Leagues won by Polish teams, trying to bring that title back to Italy for the first time since 2019. And yes, the chat's telling us that I knew this. I haven't seen her play yet, but Alessandra Micheletto has a younger sister who's pretty darn good by all accounts.
Yeah, she plays. Wow, I've definitely commented on her game before. She plays in the Italian Women's League.
I think did she play for Trentino as well? I know their women were not good this
I think
year.
so.
They got relegated, but I know she's young and she's going to be a superstar too.
Yeah. I wonder if she's watching our watch along, or if she'd be in the stadium.
Probably. Crowd's pretty good, by the way. I was wondering, like, the Turkish volleyball fans are among the best on the planet, but I was wondering, with this super final being in Antalya with no Turkish teams playing on either the men's or the women's side, I was hoping that the crowd would still be really, really good and they would sell out this place, and it looks like they have. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, whether your team's playing or not, this is the highest level of international club volleyball. I mean, there's Club World Champs, and then there's this. So if you get your tickets to that, you're not going to be disappointed, even if your team's not playing.
I'll say it right now. This is an
Say it, Rob.
This is an infinitely higher level than the Club World Championship. Not even in the same conversation.
Okay.
Oh, great dig. Okay, they're starting to slow down Micheletto a little bit. Go back to him. Ooh. Okay, Rykliski. That was a crazy rally.
Great set as well. So Patry trying to reach there. Oh, good dig. Did that stay alive? Yeah. Patry reaching on the outside. He's usually pretty like disciplined when it comes to his block. Great swing by Jack Harlow. Now I can't not call him that. Now I can't call him his real name. Also because his name is so difficult to pronounce that I won't mess it up.
Yeah. Rykliski from Luxembourg, but to Polish parents. Now he actually has a dual citizenship with Luxembourg and Italy. He's an international dude.
Is he in the running for being picked up by any national teams?
So that is a question. I don't know the answer to that, but if he could get eligibility for the Italian national team, I think he might be eligible. I just don't know if he's been chosen for one reason or another. But that would be a big pickup for their national team. They've got Yuri Romano, but they don't really have a backup opposite. So Rykliski would be a big piece that they could add potentially.
There are some rules that if you change nationality in terms of your volleyball federation, you have to sit out for 2 years. So he might have had to do it long before.
Yeah, there is. But so the weird part about Rykliski, and if there's any Italian people in the chat, please correct me if I get this wrong. But as far as I know, his citizenship or like his national status as being now partially Italian wasn't given to him like through the normal process through the Italian Volleyball Federation. It was just kind of bestowed upon him out of the clouds by the Italian government.
Yeah,
like kind of randomly and out of nowhere. They gave him Italian citizenship for like outstanding general sporting achievement.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
you could do that?
Apparently, I would argue that I don't know what the standard is for outstanding international sporting achievement, but yeah, the government, not just the Volleyball Federation, but the Italian government gave Rykliski citizenship. So maybe
that sounds a little fishy.
I don't know about that either.
That sounds a little fishy to me, but okay.
I think that's Kozamernik's only second swing of the match.
I was gonna say we haven't really seen much or heard much of him, and he hasn't been needed. He's just been. I feel like as a middle, I can speak very knowledgeably about this. Sometimes you're just not needed, and you have to be a presence the whole time, and you just have to be happy with making the blockers on the other side think twice, but you're not actually going to get the ball, and that's just the way it is.
Great shot by Lavia. Such a good shot. High fingertips. Textbook.
And again, from way out of system, Sbertoli in 6.
If people don't
still
know,
putting it tight on the net.
Absolutely. If people don't know how good Riccardo Sbertoli is, let me tell you, this man is easily a top 10 setter on the planet. Easily. And just the fact that he doesn't get nearly as many minutes on the national team because he sits behind a guy by the name of Simone Giannelli. I think some fans don't really appreciate just how good Riccardo Sbertoli is. This man is amazing. You saw how Trentino struggled without him. That's see, look at him dig that ball, and then Lavia put it away. Like all the momentum in the world on their side right now. Micheletto's celebration. Oh, I love it. Sbertoli is so good. He does everything. He's the perfect setter for Trentino. He embodies their style. He's a great defender. He's a good server. He's an underrated blocker. Easily top 10 setter in the world. He just doesn't get as much court time on the national team as he would deserve, especially if he played for any other country. And look at this, Ryan Slater back in for Jean Patry for JSW. They are in desperation mode right now.
Rob, did you see the message? We might be having a guest join us.
Oh, is that so? How exciting that would be.
Oh, look at it. There he is.
Wait, we've got a special
Hi.
guest. We can't hear him yet. Let me get him in
Oh,
here.
I hear you. I hear you. Rock, welcome to the broadcast. Have you been watching along, or did you just get back from training? Because you said you had training. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to support Trentino, right? Because that's that Italian blood. Probably have a
It's
lot of friends as well on the team. Oh, and also
Italian blood, and for sure also my teammate
Kozamernik.
Kozamernik,
Yeah.
that is my great friend. So for sure I'm supporting him the most here.
So now, hey, I've got everything fixed on my side. We can see him, we can
Okay.
hear him. Tremendous welcome to a very special guest of the Slovenian national team and of the Verona club in Italy. Welcome one of the great young superstar outside hitters in the sport, Rok Mozic. Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
show, my friend. My name is Rob. That is Key, who I believe you've met. Thank you so much for taking time to join and watch this game
Thank
with
you.
us. This is awesome.
Thank you for inviting me. It's really a pleasure. I would rather be playing, but it's okay also to watch from far away.
We would love it if you were playing. We would love to see you play in the Champions League at some point in your career.
Yeah, for sure. It's my goal. We need to qualify first, hopefully with Verona. But yes, it's great to play also against other, not just the Italian teams. So I hope in the next years I would be there.
You will be. I'm sure of it. 1000%. Okay, Rock,
Okay.
I have questions for you because obviously you played Trentino and they're up by 2. So you know how difficult it is to play against this team. What does JSW need to do right now to slow them down, to have a chance of going to 4-5 sets?
For sure, it will not be easy. They need to start to put a lot of the pressure on serve the Polish team. This is the only solution, if you ask me. But I don't know if there happened a lot of time that Trentino, especially now that they are back with the whole team with Bertoli and Lavia, that they had some injuries. I think didn't happen this year that they would lose 2-0. But you never know. Jastrzębski is a very good team with great players. So I wish that maybe they can go to fifth set, but I hope at the end Trentino will win. I think they deserve it a lot. But also Jastrzębski last year played one great final against Zaksa, second final for them. So I think both teams deserve it. But like I say, I'm still hoping that at the end Trentino will be the champion.
Well, I think
So
you
far,
might be
so
right by
good.
the way things are going. Yeah.
Yeah, I see now Fornal is pretty angry and he's playing great match. So I think that things can get interested.
Angry
Do you think he's the
Fornal
kind
is
of
very
player?
difficult to
Yeah.
play
Do you think
against.
he's the kind of player that gets fired up and when he gets upset, he'll play better? Because there are some players that kind of go into a hole and some that just get infinitely
This
better.
depends a lot. I think there are a lot of players that can get angry, and in some moment they can be even better. But I don't know if this can be for a long period. It's difficult to manage the emotions. I think for the 5 sets maybe. So for sure it can be the part that to change the game. And if he can do it, like I say, I would love to see some more good volleyball. So
Did you guys
it's
just see that fake by Riccardo Spertoli?
Yes.
Oh
I saw
my
the ace from
goodness.
Tonuti and now the second thing from. But you are a little bit in front because I saw your reaction and I still didn't know what happened. So
Oh, are
now
we
it's.
ahead of you, Rock? Hopefully we can. It's 13-13 what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind. I'm looking at some Italian streaming, and I
Oh.
now it's Kozamernik on serve to me, but probably at you it's already finished the point.
Yeah, I think we've just finished. We're at 14-13 now.
Yes, me
It's all right.
also.
We'll try not to ruin it for you as we're watching
Thank you.
But if you see our reactions, you'll know something good's coming.
Hey, Rock, how are you doing physically, by the way? I hear you had a procedure done recently.
Yes, I was suffering from some ankle pain during. Actually, it started a little bit during the national team. It was very hard for us. We had this VNL after we had the European Championship and the qualifications for Olympic Games. So there was a really busy schedule. We played, I think, 35 games during all the summer, and then
That's
directly you
crazy.
go to the club season. You start. I think I just arrived, and the next weekend we already start the first game. So it was hard for me. And after the quarterfinals with Perugia, I needed to stop a little bit. I was hoping that the things will get better, but there was one part of the bone that was going away, like it was from the stress. So I needed to do a little surgery to put this part away, and now I'm recovering. So actually, I'm doing fine. I'm doing a lot of the gym, but for the upper body because the ankles still need to be in peace. And in some time now, I will restart with the physios, everything. So actually, I will skip probably the first two tournaments of the VNL, and then I hope I'll be better and I could start to play again, because for sure Slovenia is still not qualified, and I hope I could help them, help us to get there. And then the first goal of the summer for sure is the Olympic Games.
Well, we hope the best for your recovery and for Slovenia's chances to qualify. As far as I'm
Thank
aware of the situation with the world rankings, it appears to me that Slovenia has a very good chance to qualify. So we are hoping the best for you and your team.
Thank you. Yes, we are very close, not there yet, but like you said, we have big possibility. We are doing very good on the ranking, but there are a lot of okay, something great happened, but there are a lot of teams that are okay. This is one-on-one block probably.
One-on-one block,
Uh,
Podrashin against Huber. Yes, that was massive.
But yes, like I say, we have great possibility, but we still need to fight the last 12 games to go there, and then the Paris would be something great for us. This was a great block, actually.
Was it Podrasinin or was it
It was
Kozamanek?
What is Podrashin?
Okay.
One-on-one. Oh, and then the
Yes.
repeat. I like that set choice.
Mm.
Oh, okay. I love that. Look at that. Benjamin Toniuti with Huber getting stuff blocked one-on-one. The next play, he went back to him twice, just refusing to let Huber get done with that front court rotation without getting a kill. I love that setting. That's exactly how you keep one of your players' confidence high. You don't let him get out of
1000%.
that front row without him getting a kill. I love that setting.
And I think that just shows Toniuti knows he needs his entire team. They're not relying just on one player, because if he loses his middle blocker's confidence and the blocking, not just the attacking, but if Huber kind of gets a little bit quiet in the blocking, game's done. Over.
Yep. No,
Yes.
Huber has put together this season. Rock, I don't know how much you've been following the numbers of this, but Norbert Huber has had the best blocking season statistically, maybe ever. I think he had something like 1.2 blocks per set this season, which is outrageous.
I saw some games. You still see me? Because
Yes.
my camera is stopped. Okay, I don't know what is happening, but okay.
You look great.
And I saw some numbers, and he was playing great. I saw also the percentage in attack. He was a lot of the times MVP, one great season, and like we saw, they became the champions. So for sure, they have great players, and like I said, this is the one of the best possible thing, like finals that it can be, because Trento actually for me was the best team during the season. Just in playoff, they couldn't manage to do it, like we said, with the injuries and everything. So it will be great.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you, Rook. I think Trentino was one of the best teams in all of Europe throughout the entire season. They finished the Italian regular season #1, and then their playoff didn't go their way, in my opinion, largely because they lost their starting setter, Riccardo Spertoli. That's very difficult to come back from. But now here they are with a chance to end their season by winning a Champions League. It's of all of the crazy season that they've had, and of not even taking top 3 in the Italian playoffs, they could still become the champions of all of Europe.
I think yes, this would be still a great result for them if they can finish the Champions League final, because like I said, they were 2 or 3 times. I remember 2 times for sure in the super finals, and they lost both 2 times against Zaxa. So
Correct.
they are very close every time, but they couldn't did it. Last year they won the Italian league, so it was great achievement. But now if they can finish the season with Champions League of champions, they will be. I think that will still be a great season for them.
Yeah, well said. It is a good point. I'm not sure we've highlighted enough yet that last year Trentino did win the Scudetto in the Italian domestic league, which is one of the hardest leagues in the world to win, and an amazing achievement. And they brought back almost exclusively the same players. I think they have 5 of the same 7 starters. Koza Marinek, your national team teammate, is new. He came over from Resovia, and then Ricklitsky is new. He came over
Yes.
from Perugia, I believe.
From Perugia, yes.
But everyone
yes.
else is the same. And Key and I talked earlier about how positive it is that we see teams keeping players for multiple years and how it's good to build chemistry and continuity of a team by not just getting a whole new 7 starting players every season.
Yeah,
I think, sorry.
I was
These
just
4
gonna say
players
wait on that. Go ahead.
that are now in Trento, Sbertoli, Lavia, Micheletto, and also Lorenzano, that is very young. They are I know that they signed now the new contracts. They stay in Trento, and this is one thing that I like a lot. They are one of the best players now in all the world, and they are managed to keep their team alive with this. They just, like you said, they can change the opposite, they can change one middle, but the general part is staying, and this is what it makes them stronger. Because maybe at the start, Lavia was not so famous. Also, Sbertoli was all the time a little bit in the shadow of Gianelli. That it's difficult because they're both one of the best setters. But now, when they start to play together, I think they are making. They have great connection and they're playing great volleyball. So if they can stay in Trento, for sure, the team will always be strong. Doesn't matter who are the players, that they will be with them. So this is one thing, like you said. But also, if I remember good, in the Jastrzębski, there is Toniuti was also last year. There is Fornal that was last year. The libero is the same. So some things are staying, and these things bring the results. So now was Monster Block by Kozamernik. I'm a little bit late.
Yes, I think for the next few minutes, guys, I think we need to really lock in and focus on this match, because in the next few minutes there's a timeout by JSW here, but we might be about to see Trentino win a Champions League if they can finish this here. They're up 21-19.
Yes.
Here, hey Key, sync with me. Let's pause our videos at the same time and then resume them at the same time to hopefully catch up with where Rock is.
Okay, Rock, where are you right now?
Now just finish the timeout. Lavia is going on serve.
Okay, Key, pause your video in 3, 2, 1. Pause. Resume.
I'm paused at
now.
the Antalya. Okay.
Okay.
The overview, like the camera.
Okay, I just saw Lavia serve.
Now Lavia is serving. Oh, you saw him serve already?
Yes. Yeah, you can start.
Okay, we just got a block. Trentino got a block.
Okay.
I think Kozamernik got it again.
For now, got blocked by Kozamernik again.
Yes. Okay, I think we're all pretty close now.
Yes.
Wow, Kozamernik out of nowhere. Fornal never saw him.
He jumped on the first tempo. He remained there, do just one little step, and this is one of the things that he's really good at, to stay every time and to put just the hands over. And like you said, Fornal didn't even see him coming.
That was amazing recovery. Oh no, Patry hit it out of bounds.
Yes, I think this now it's becoming very difficult.
Goodness. 2 late hitting errors, 1 for each JSW opposite. Slater hit one out of bounds, got substituted back in for Patry. He hit one out of bounds. It's 23-19, and then 2 blocks by Kozamernik. Yes, that just might decide it. It just might.
Okay, so we talked about Marcelo Mendez being probably one of the great coaches. What does he do now? Like, what's the strategy?
Well,
like what he did, take the challenge, try to calm a little bit the team, and they don't have a lot to do now. They need to do the side out, and they go to serve and push as maximum as they can to make the situation a little bit easier for block and defense, because if the reception is inside the 3 meters, like we speak about before, Sbertoli, and with the good attackers that the Trento have, the situation is difficult. But I think here is no net touch, no. So,
yeah, Rock, exactly like Rock said, that challenge was not really a challenge. It was more like a timeout. All he wanted to do was slow down the game.
He tried. Maybe it can happen. You never know in volleyball, but for sure he need to a little bit. And now he take the timeout.
Now he takes the actual timeout. So Rock, you nailed it. They must side out right now, and that's what they're going to talk about, is how they'll do that. But then I wonder who their next server is. I
think they're in P2. So if I'm not wrong, the Toniuti is going to serve. This is for sure tactic serve. He will not miss, but they need to do very good the side out, the break point. So the good, they're in
Yeah,
P2.
you're correct.
And,
Tony Uti will be the next
Tony Uti
server
going
once
to serve,
JSW
yes.
achieves side out. And Tony Uti, like you said, tactic serve, he won't miss. He's one of their statistically best servers in the fact that JSW scores points on their serve when Tony Uti is serving. But
Okay,
step one is side out. They got to get Lavia off the line here.
now we see.
Great serve.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Fornal overloads Lavia in the backcourt. He couldn't handle it. So side out achieved. Now it gets interesting.
Now
That's
we
a
see.
great up that first defense as well.
Yeah,
That
incredible.
serve was all but down there in zone
Nice
2.
work by Libero, really.
Another guy who's underrated because he's overshadowed by a different guy on the national team is Jakub Popivchak. This libero for JSW. He sits behind Pavel Zatorsky, but he is easily a top 10 libero in the world, if not higher. Ooh, good
Yes.
cover.
Okay. Oh, bravo Sbertoli.
Wow. What a coverage play by Riccardo Sbertoli. A pancake play to cover the middle block. And then
Bravo.
Micheletto. Ooh, Mendez wants something.
Maybe they will try, yes, they will try the
Or
check
touch challenge.
if the ball is down, but I don't know.
Let's see. So there's the block off Kozamernik.
Oh, that's hard to tell. That might have been down.
I can't tell. It's definitely
needed
worth
a closer,
the challenge.
yeah.
It's definitely worth
was
the
very
challenge
close.
if you have one.
Do they have a challenge left though? I haven't been keeping track.
Well, they lost one a
They
few
only get
points
2
ago.
per set, right?
They only get 2%.
Yes.
They lost one a few points ago. I don't know if they lost one previously. I
Now
don't
we
think
see,
they're
but
being allowed to challenge this. I think they must be out of challenges.
I think it's finished, yes.
Or they had
Or
to
they-
challenge it mid rally and then they waited too long. Could be.
That's possible
Or
too.
they were a little bit late because I think after the point finish they have 8 seconds. Maybe I don't know what happened, but it's finished already. So
Okay,
now
this is it.
it's the last
Championship
chance.
point. Jan Kozamernik, Rook's teammate.
Let's
Pretty
go.
good float service pressure.
Yes.
Okay,
Fornal.
Fornal stays alive. Oh my goodness.
And now it's going to serve. It was the same situation I saw in the finish of the second set. He scored, I think, 2-3 attacks in a row. He go to serve
Yeah.
and he put 2 very good serve, but Micheletto managed to score the high ball. So now we
Exactly
see.
right. Same situation. Match championship point for Trentino. Difficult
Great
pass.
serve.
High ball, Micheletto.
Micheletto is dug.
Defense. Oh.
Shimura. Micheletto for the championship again. He's dug again by Popivchak.
Oh.
And a monstrous block. Oh my
Podrashkin,
goodness.
bravo.
Marco Podrashkin. Trentino
That's your
has
guy.
finally done it.
Nice. This is nice.
Amazing.
I'm happy for the guys.
What a redemption story for Trentino. Lost 2 Champions Leagues finals in 2021-22. Lost all 3 of their Italian competitions this year, but they finished the season on top of the continent. What an accomplishment for Alessandro Micheletto and this
This
team.
is great.
Unbelievable.
They really deserved it.
3-0. I was not expecting a 3-0. I don't know
Amazing.
about you guys. And
I
Rob,
think-
you were talking all about how Poland and Italy are sort of neck and neck in world volleyball, but 3-0, that's a stomping.
Nobody was expecting. I think it was like the game, it was in Ljubljana, the superfinals, Zaksa that played against Trento, that nobody was expecting to be like this, 3-0 for Zaksa, but it can happen in volleyball. When it's just one game, it can happen everything because the teams are so strong and one team can have a little bit bad day. But now we see challenge for net fault.
No, not even
Yeah.
close.
Maybe you saw it already.
It's
No
over.
net fault.
It is over. Trentino are champions of Europe. What an amazing achievement
Nice.
for them.
This is really nice.
Finally, they
Right.
can start the celebrations.
Incredible.
Mm.
Micheletto's already got the jersey off.
Yeah, this is nice. This is very nice.
All right, I
Man,
think
that feeling. Can you describe us that feeling, Rock? You've had some really big wins in your career.
It's difficult because when you are there, you cannot control. I think you're so happy and so many emotions that in the moment you don't even know what the things are doing. Like he put the shirt out. It's not like something that he want to show, but it's just in this moment the emotions arrive. I usually start to run away.
Yeah.
Also, if you look, you're tired, but in this moment you can do everything. So this is I think the best moment in sport, because it's a lot of pressure, and even before the game you're stressed, everything. But when the last ball, it's just so many emotion in the moment, and you just how to say, you do that the things that you don't even know, and it's like I say, it's great moment. And then when the celebration comes, it's yes, for sure, one of the best moments in sport that can happen, especially like the guys that now you win Champions League. That is the greatest competition maybe of everything.
By far the greatest competition in club volleyball. By far the greatest. I think
Yes.
there are some
Yes.
there are some national team medals that you can win that might mean more, but nothing means more to Trentino as a club than winning the CEV Champions League. And we have the clearance now that the match is over to show the celebrations here on our stream, which is exactly what we're doing. And the celebration is well underway. What an amazing performance for Trentino. Incredibly happy for that team.
Yes. Really great performance.
I want to have a look at some of the stats. Like, what exactly did they do? I mean, it seemed like they were just dominant from start to finish. There really wasn't a weak zone in their play. They frustrated Patry, and Fornal just couldn't seem to get in their rhythm. Huber getting blocked twice in a row there at the end. I mean, what did they do so well?
Well, I've got
Either of
the
you?
For sure.
stats up now on the screen. The final
Uh,
stat report is complete.
Mhm.
I think a couple of the numbers that stick out to me. Trentino's reception is outstanding. 39% perfect, 58% positive. Also serving. Trentino 3 aces to only 7 errors. That's remarkably
Oof.
low error rate for a 3-set match.
Yes.
JSW 8 aces. Now that cannot be right. I think everything here is doubled. Yeah, okay, that's better. Yeah, 4 aces for
4
JSW to 8
aces.
errors. That's a pretty good ratio as well. But then another really big difference is 13 Trentino blocks versus 7
Yes.
for JSW.
For
That
sure,
is
the
a
last
big
set that
difference.
now we were watching, it was 4 blocks in the last part of the set that were the key to the win. Also, the last point before we saw 2 blocks from Kozamernik too. So I think the errors in attack of the Jastrzębski team, just like you say, they managed to stop Patry. Also, Fornal maybe was not in the rhythm all the time. So it was probably this the fundamental that make the change at the end.
Yeah, the
I'm
final
looking at
attacking numbers
Patry.
Patry, I was just about to bring that up. 9 for 23
9.
with 5 errors. Not particularly efficient.
Yeah.
Fornal was good, 15 for 29. Shimura, very quiet, 7 for 19 with 5 errors. And even Huber's impact largely was minimized. And those 13 Trentino blocks were really, really massive. Only 7 for JSW. And look at this stat line from Alessandro Micheletto: 13 for 24 with only 1 error. That's 50% efficiency with a block and 2 aces for 16 points. And
Probably MVP of the match.
has to be.
Yeah,
Probably.
for sure, for
Has to be.
sure.
We'll see after.
There
But
were
also
only 3
Riklitsky.
attacking errors in total. 1 from Micheletto, 1 from Riklitsky, and 1 from Lavia. Although there were a few more blocks, but in terms of just swinging out. Oh, should we listen to the interview?
I don't think that I can hear him.
Also, I don't hear him. I put the volume down too.
Yeah, I also don't hear him. I hear the background noise. Huh, that's weird. I don't think the mics were working at all down
Yeah,
there
that's
on that
disappointing
YouTube
'cause,
stream.
yeah, we couldn't hear the coaches in the timeouts either. But I'm sure Mr. Micheletto is saying something about how significant this is for his team after some of the disappointments of their previous title contentions this season. They lost in the Super Cup semifinals, they lost in the Cup
Yes.
semifinals, they lost in the playoff semifinals, and lost the 3rd place series. But somehow they end the season on top of Europe. They win the Champions League, and again, they will not play Champions League next year. They will play in the CEV Cup
It's
next year.
wild.
For this is one of the craziest thing that I can because I know that in football, if you win, I don't know if it happened before, but in football, if you win and if you are not qualified, you remain inside. So I think
Yeah.
this rule could stay also in volleyball because they deserve it. If you win Champions League, for sure next year you will have a great team, and if you didn't arrive during the club season, like in the your league, still I think you deserve to be in the Champions League. So I'm sorry for them that next year they will not play, but also Milano played great game and they deserve to be in Champions League. So it's like this.
Even a golden ticket, even just they have to work their way up from the very beginning of stages of Champions League. But Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to have the reigning champion not even be in the competition.
Agreed.
We got to chat to the CV about that. CV, if you're listening,
Yes,
we have a
but
word. We'll send some
they
emails.
can change this rule for sure.
Yeah. Man, great match though.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations again to Trentino. Rock Mozic, thank you very much for joining us and watching along. We
Thank
wish
you,
you the best
guys.
of luck in your recovery with your ankle and with your attempt to qualify and represent Slovenia in the Olympics this summer. We're excited to watch national team season. I certainly am. But there is one more match of club volleyball left to play, and that will be
Thank you, guys.
the Women's Champions League Super Final. We will be live for the pregame in a little over an hour. Just about an hour from right now, Key and I will be back with some more special guests, some women's players that we're excited to bring to you guys. And we'll watch to see who can win that title between Emilko Conegliano and Vera Volley Milano. Rock, thank you again, my friend. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Rock.
Thank you, guys. It was nice to be with you. Ciao, ciao.
Awesome joining us. Ciao. Alrighty.
Key, we'll talk to you soon. We got another game to watch.
Yes. Great match. Fun chatting with you. I don't know. I'm out of emotions. I mean, I feel like that just went too quickly.
It did go.
I don't know if you were expecting
went
that.
quite
I was
quickly.
expecting at least a 4 or 5 setter, and look, 4-0 on the screen, probably similar emotions, but he's really the only one who showed up today. And I think, yeah, his team's gonna have some chats in the locker room shortly.
Yes, they will. But it was a great season for JSW. They won the Bundesliga title again in what still might be the best league in the world. But right now it's Italy. Right now Italy it is maybe the debate for best league in the world will have to wait another day. But right now, this very moment, it's Italian men's volleyball that rule Europe at this very moment.
Oh, someone in the chat says MVP Spertoli.
I like that.
Thoughts on that? Okay.
I don't hate it. I think that he has proven how important he is from missing games and now his impact coming back. But I mean, the way that Micheletto has played all season, I would still have to give it to him. But Spertoli deserves his credit.
Yeah, especially coming back from injury to play in a huge match like that. That's
right.
Takes a lot.
Key, let's take a break. Let's get some lunch. Let's get prepared for another emotional Champions League final match. We'll be back just about an hour from right now, 6:45 p.m. CET, 15 minutes before first serve of the women's game. We will be right back here on YouTube, and we'll see you then.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, everyone. See you soon.